Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with your host, Nufftingz. So I want to talk about something here. Um, I want to talk about, I saw a video with Chris Hansen and this other guy. I can't remember what his name was. And they were doing some check on Roblox to show that kids are getting, targeted on Roblox and groomed on Roblox and whatever, right? Now, I'm not saying this doesn't happen. I'm not saying that. I know this happens a lot. And I mean, if you want to be completely honest, it's been happening since I was a kid. When internet first was, mainstream and everybody was using it, it happened a lot. Like there was a lot of that stuff going on. Even with AOL, like you go on AOL and there's always some creepy person trying to do some stupidness, right? So I'm not saying Roblox isn't at fault for a lot of the things that they do, but I also feel like sometimes people, I don't know, I guess will overreact and not look at it from a different standpoint. So what I mean is, so in the video, they're showing Chris Hansen, and if you guys don't know who Chris Hansen is, he's the dude that would do Catch a Predator and all that. So he's a good dude, and they have a movie based on him now that I want to see with Robert Pattinson. Pattinson, how you say it? Batman. And I actually want to see this, man, because I used to like watching Chris Hansen. I thought he was hilarious, right? But and I thought that episode of Boondocks with Chris Hansen was hilarious. Like So, anyways, going back to what I was saying. So in the video, the guy that he's with is telling him that they do a lot of grooming on these sites on Roblox, right? Now, he then showed a video, like he showed one of the games on there, and it's like a blatant ripoff of a site that's been taken down last year or two, called Omegle or however you say it. And if you guys know the history on that, then you know, right, what that site was all about. And I mean, it started from chat roulette, and then Omegle was like the last remaining one. And we all know what that was about. Like, let's be real here. If you are an older person, you knew. Like, some of us probably even went on the site. Who knows? But, it was like a hookup site, right? So on Roblox, they have a game similar to this, and they put it like, oh, here you could talk to your friends and whatever. And of course, when they went on there, it was some guy trying to holler at kids, right? Now, I mean, like you're in that site for sure, you'll find that. But I also wondered if that site would be on the Xbox Roblox or the PlayStation Roblox or the Nintendo Roblox. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that people seem to get confused is that a lot of those games don't show on the Microsoft, like the Xbox version of Roblox or PlayStation version. I'm not saying that there's ones that don't fall through the cracks. What I'm saying is because I've seen it firsthand. A game my son would play, even if it was not a bad game, isn't on. Like, he'll play it on his phone, for instance, right? And then he'd be like, hey, Daddy, come play this game with me. And I'll try to play it on the Xbox, and it's not on there yet. So I don't know if Microsoft or PlayStation or Nintendo checks the games out, make sure that they're suitable for their platform or whatever. I mean, there's probably grooming on them anyways. But I mean, I'm hoping, and I feel and I hope, in my opinion, that they're actually doing more to protect the kids than what Roblox is doing on its own. And I think that's great protection. Like, because my kids play on Roblox all the time, and we've never had any grooming or anything like that. And I'm like, that's good. But I mean, I'm not saying that you being a vigil parent isn't going to have some issues, but I mean, we should be more, watching what our kids are doing. I get status reports every week on what my kids are doing. My kids are teenagers now, but they've been doing this for a while. Like, they've been playing Roblox for years, right? I also, even though I'm a gamer, I didn't let them have devices until way later on. Like, some people will have their kids be on a device at like 1 year old. Like, I seen women that I not only women, but I see people that I know that will um give their kids their phone at one. My kids never touch my phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want them messing up anything or deleting stuff or doing anything like that. My phone is for business and for my personal stuff. They have my passwords, like they can get in if they want to, but I don't just give them my phone because next thing you know, they break my phone. I got to pay for this, right? And you know how much it costs to fix a screen on a Samsung phone? Like, it's not cheap, man. I mean, Apple's probably worse, but like it's not that you're hiding things. You're protecting your money, because kids will break things and not give a crap. Like, come on, let's be real here. But I've seen a lot of parents, male, female, man, if dogs and cats could have phones, they'd probably let their kids do it too. And, they just to shut their kids up, here, take my phone. And they let them, go on YouTube or, and they get old and they like, cause I'll see parents, oh, my son is playing Roblox on his phone. Oh, I'm so proud. And they're not watching what's going on because they feel since it's a 2-year-old that somebody isn't going to try to groom them. You know what I'm saying? Like they think that there's like this protection. So I understand videos like what Chris Hansen is doing. I think it's great and he needs to continue doing it. But I also feel like sometimes we parents, we get too busy and we forget to double check to make sure. Just because there's an extra layer of protection on anything like Microsoft, Sony's platforms, it doesn't mean that there isn't some creepy people on there trying to do some bad stuff. You know what I mean? So, I mean, as a parent, we're supposed to be extremely invested in what our kids are doing. And I know how it goes, man. The cost of meat is so expensive now. Like it's $10 a pound for regular ground beef. I see the prices. Eggs are expensive. Everything's expensive. You got to work 5 jobs to, keep a roof over your head and whatever. And, I feel like we should all take 30 minutes out of our day and just see what our kids are doing, play a game with them, see what game they're playing on Roblox, because it changes every week. I remember when my son was small, his mother bought a Roblox book and it showed all the games that were on Roblox at the time. And she thought she was doing something good, which she was. But then he looked at the stuff and he was like, yeah, these games aren't even on there anymore because it changes all the time. But, it was a kind gesture, but she's not a gamer, so she didn't know. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with even us see a book like that, open the pages and read it and see what games are on there and just get an idea of what it is instead of going on these videos and just going, oh no, I'm not going to let my kids be like, and you know what? If you don't want your kids to be exposed to it at all from the get-go, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? I've been in Xbox chats where people have said to me, I don't have any kids, but I'll never let my kids play Roblox. And it's like, all right. But then you'd have to look at some other games too, because it's not only Roblox where you have people that try to groom children. Like you could have that in any game. Any game where you have to talk to other people. And that's the thing. You don't have to talk to people on Roblox. Like, I've never been in the Roblox game chat when I was playing it with my son. I've been in the Xbox game chat, but I've never been in a Roblox chat where I would be around this. And honestly, if any groomer was in there, I'd have told them what's up. You know what I mean? But they're not going to talk to someone if there's a grown man in there, or a grown woman. Like they're just going to go after the kids. That there's a group of kids, and like it's terrible what we have to be exposed to now. We have to protect our kids from, but sometimes I feel like, in my opinion, that sometimes parents could do more, and sometimes it's not their fault that they can't do more. It could be because of what's going on in the world. It could be they gotta stay at work longer, like things like that. So I totally get it. Like, like not everybody's gonna be jumping on Roblox with their kids, like what some of us do. You know what I mean? But I hope, like, and I'm saying this with the most sincere way I can say it. I hope anyone that's listened to this never has to deal with groomers and all that, and their kids are safe. I'm not saying that to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm saying that with genuine, like, with heartfelt concern. Like, I just hope that nobody listens to this, or anyone in general, has to deal with it. You know what I mean? Um, it's not a good look for Roblox to even have groomers on there. But, I feel they should do way more protection on it. They should, not, let people on there. But I mean, how can you really stop it? Like, even if you wipe out 99% of them, there's still going to be so many left, right? And also in the video too, as I sort of drifted off from the video, there was a part when they went into the page that they got banned out of it. And the guy that was doing it, not Chris Hansen, but the other guy, was his PC. And I guess the ban could have been because his PC, the IP's been banned or whatever, or not even the IP, but just the model itself was banned. Like, because like if you do crazy stuff on Microsoft and on Xbox, they could ban your console. I've never had that happen to me, thank God. But, like, they could ban your console for things. So they have the option to do that, right? But I think that was bad on their part. Like, I could sit here and defend them, but that was stupid. That someone's trying to do something to help the community, and it's pretty much helping your game. Get rid of the bad people. Do the best you can. At least let it be exposed to that point. You know what I mean? But, it's what it's like. If you look at the comments on the video too, it's like so many people are saying like, it's a PDF ring, and it's all PDFs that run the game and all that. But I mean, a lot of the games that are made by kids. Like, you'll see some of these games and you'll be like, damn, this game sucks. And you find out it was like a 10-year-old that made it, and you're like, oh damn, let me give a little support. Like, my son tried to make a game for it too, and even when he made the game, it had restrictions. It said, hey, this can go on the PC and device, and the PC and like the phone versions, but it wouldn't go on the Microsoft or the Sony or Nintendo store, right? I guess maybe they had to make more money on it, or it just wasn't allowed. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that extra layer of protection is good, but we as parents should have the extra layer ourselves. We should be protecting our kids a lot more. Keep track of what they're doing. Put blocks on it so that, they can't just go on any site they want. Because even besides the whole grooming thing and all that, you also got to worry about scammers and all this other stuff. So it's like, it's like, there's so much things to protect your kids from. I can see why people don't have kids, because it's a lot of work. But anywho, I'm just saying in this video, my point is, before we start going crazy on all these games, because if we really knew about every game's background, we probably wouldn't let any of our kids play these games, is that we got to be a little bit more involved. Try your best to be involved. It's hard. It's probably boring too, but just to see what your kids are doing and get an idea. I think sometimes we just let our kids do whatever, and we forget, to watch them and learn about them, because sometimes they'll grow up and then you're like, who is this kid? But they've been changing into that kid over time, but we were just too busy to notice. Anyways, that was my video. So just protect your kids on Roblox and whatever other game. Could be Call of Duty where they're doing it. And I wish everybody well, and I'll see you in the next video.
Another late night chasing down the light for the grind that Nufftingz has to fight.